Ms. Melan, is your expertise in the area, Mr. Bunn made this distinction, is your expertise in the area of tax avoidance or tax evasion or both?
I would say both. I think the lines, there are situations where the lines might get blurry, especially on the corporate side. But in my...
It's both?
It's both. In short, it's both.
Do you believe that there are major American corporations that are cheating on their taxes?
I think yes, there are cases where the transfer pricing regulations are not being followed, and Mr. Curtis's testimony speaks to that.
Who are they? Who are the five? Name the five American corporations that are the biggest tax cheats.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to America First, your home for common sense, truth, and real talk you won't hear anywhere else. If you love freedom, the Constitution, and holding Washington accountable, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss a video. Let's dive in. Senator John Kennedy, one of the sharpest minds in the Senate, grilled a Democrat witness, Ms. Melan, on her claims about corporate tax cheating. And let me tell you, it's almost unwatchable how she squirms and dodges. Let's break it down America First style.
Well, this is a question for the IRS. It's their job to enforce the laws. So I wouldn't.
But that's a pretty serious allegation you made there, and I'm just asking you who they are.
There are cases pending against a number of companies until those cases conclude. It's not.
Who do you think they are? You're an expert in this area. I'm just asking you. You talked a lot, and I've read some of your writings about American corporations cheating on their taxes. I'm just asking you who they are.
I wouldn't use the word cheating. I think that they are taking advantage of the gray zone.
You used it in your testimony.
I'm sorry?
You used it in your testimony. I'm not trying to trick you. I just want to know you have been very vociferous in saying that American companies are cheating. Okay, that's America. You're entitled to your opinion, but you're an expert, and just tell me who they are.
I stand by that. I think that there is evidence to suggest that some of these companies and the IRS has pursued cases against a number of the companies that Mr. Curtis has analyzed, including Apple and Microsoft and Facebook and Coca-Cola.
Is Apple a tax cheat?
I wouldn't say tax cheat. I think that's putting it too strongly, and I didn't use that word.
Then who are they?
I wouldn't say tax cheats, but I think they are crossing the legal lines that have been set by Congress and by the IRS in the relevant regulations. And because the IRS is outgunned, they're not able to enforce the law against them.
Let me start over. Do you believe that there are major American corporations cheating on their taxes?
I believe they are coming very close to crossing the line, and it's difficult for IRS that is outgunned to enforce the line.
Are they crossing the line or not?
Well, it's up to the IRS to enforce the line if they don't have the resources.
I'm asking you your opinion. You're an expert.
I think there's a good case to be made that, yes, they are crossing the line.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Who are they?
That's up to the courts and the IRS to determine.
You made this allegation, but you don't want to say who they are? If you know who they are, you just don't want to tell us?
I think that's been explained by Mr. Curtis in his analysis.
I'm asking you to explain. You talk about tax cheats. I'm just asking you who they are, and you don't want to tell us?
It's again, I think it's for the IRS to enforce the line, and we need to make sure that the IRS is properly...
Well, do you have a list of these tax sheets?
No.
Okay. Have you been to the IRS and said, here are these companies and they're cheating on their taxes and I can show you how they're doing it?
No, I'm not. That's not I've never practiced in that area of law. I'm not a tax whistleblower lawyer.
All you've done is run around saying that American companies are cheating on their taxes. I can't tell you who they are, and I haven't been to the IRS to show my data to the IRS, but I want you to believe me that they're cheating on their taxes. Is that your testimony today?
No, Senator, no.
Sure sounds like it.
No, I think that the case against some of these companies has been well documented in the
Which companies? Let me
in the
ask you one,
public.
because I'm gonna run out of time. Tell me, in the last 23 seconds, here's your chance. You believe there are major American corporations cheating on their taxes. You just testified to that. I believe you told me yes. Tell me who they are.
I think there are the companies that Mr. Curtis
Tell me who they
discussed in
are,
his
your
in his
opinion.
testimony.
Tell me who they
It
are.
includes some of the big tech companies.
Who are
It
the
includes
five
some
worst?
of the pharma companies that are.
Who are the 5 worst?
I don't have a ranking. I have
You're
not
not going to
compiled.
tell. You don't want to say.
I haven't looked into that.
You understand it makes it hard to believe your allegations if you won't tell us who they are. Talk's cheap. You ever heard that expression? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Kennedy starts by asking Ms. Melan where her expertise lies. Is she an expert in tax avoidance, tax evasion, or both? She says both fine. But then the real question comes, who are these corporations that are supposedly cheating on their taxes? Name them. Now this is where it gets ridiculous. This so-called expert who's been out there writing and testifying about cheating corporations suddenly won't name a single company. She says that's for the IRS to decide. Excuse me? You're the one making the accusation. Senator Kennedy, as always, cuts right through the nonsense. He asks her repeatedly, who are the top 5 tax cheats? She won't say. He asks, have you gone to the IRS with your evidence? She admits, no, I haven't. She's not even a tax lawyer. This is classic left-wing politics, folks. Make loud accusations in public, smear American businesses, but when asked for facts, crickets. She even admits companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Facebook have been investigated, but won't actually call them cheats. What happened to all that tough talk? Let's be honest, the left has been demonizing American companies for years. They want higher taxes, more regulations, and more government power. And when you ask for proof of their wild claims, they can't provide it. They just want you to trust their expertise. Sorry, that's not how due process works in America. Ms. Melan keeps saying it's up to the IRS and the courts. Well, here's a newsflash. In America, you're innocent until proven guilty. If you can't name names, you shouldn't be making the accusation. But the left wants to turn that upside down. Accuse first, prove later, and destroy reputations in the process. Senator Kennedy says it best, talk's cheap. Anyone can get up and smear American businesses, but if you want to be taken seriously, you need facts. That's what real accountability looks like. Patriots, if we let the left get away with this kind of baseless accusation, they'll keep going after your business, your job, your freedom. Today it's corporations, tomorrow it'll be small businesses, churches, gun owners, you name it. We need more senators like John Kennedy who aren't afraid to ask tough questions and demand real answers. And we need to call out these so-called experts who have nothing but hot air and talking points. So what did we learn? The left will accuse, deflect, and hide behind the process when it suits them. But we, the people, see right through it. We want facts, not feelings. We want evidence, not empty rhetoric. And we want real accountability from the government, from the IRS, and from so-called experts. If you agree, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and make sure you're subscribed to America First. Drop a comment below. Do you trust these experts who can't back up their claims? Or do you stand with Senator Kennedy and the truth? God bless you, God bless our businesses, and God bless the United States of America. See you next time.